I'm quite optimistic about the whole localization movement because I think it's something that everybody can relate to. I'm very keen on campaigning about climate change and the environment and all those issues, but actually virtually everything comes back to local. And I think local sells. And so that I don't think we need to be too pessimistic about it. I mean, I hate the fact that we've got food moving across the world completely unnecessarily and sometimes there and back again. It's absolutely mad. But what we're finding in our little ecosystem in parts of Bristol is that people are magnetized by local, by things that happen locally, by food that is grown and eaten locally. They love the story. And I think our challenge is how we accelerate it so that people recognize that it's urgent that we deal with these things. You know, I totally agree with Helena that it's about mental health. It's and I think Charles agrees about that. It's about our state of mind. And if we spend our lives on screens, we're not going to engage with people in a proper manner. And we have a wonderful project in Bristol that is trying to tackle, for instance, the epidemic that we have in young men's suicide levels. It's called Talk Club. It's about, and this, like word localization, is going global. It started in Bristol. It's now got local groups all over the world where people come together to talk about themselves, their state of mind, how do you feel out of 10? And we've connected it with food, interestingly, with low alcohol or low alcohol drinks, and that raise money for the project. And you couldn't do that in any other way other than through local connections. So while I believe that food is absolutely at the center of localization, because it's a need, we can see that food security is better answered by local growing and having a true circular food economy, that self-sufficiency has become so much more important together with food security since what's happened in the last 2 or 3 years, and in the UK with us coming out of the EU, people now realize that we need to be more self-sufficient. Maybe that is one good thing that's come out of something that I disagreed with, but nevertheless, I think the fact is that it's easier now to access local food than it is to access food coming from abroad. But all these things feed into a sense of community and engagement with the people around you. And so I am really optimistic that people are getting a sense of feel good around some of the things that have been forced on us as a result of COVID. I'm much more engaged with my street and the people around in the immediate local community than I ever was before. I'm more engaged with natural life around me and more engaged with what happens in the garden and the park next to me. I'm more engaged with the dog walkers, even though I don't have a dog, who engage with each other's naturally. And I'm not encouraging everybody to have a dog, but watch what dog walkers do to engage with each other and exchange ideas. Maybe we should all have an invisible dog and we'd meet everybody in the community and we would talk with them. I'm engaged with markets that are street markets, that we have a food market. And what's really fascinating about it, go to a supermarket and watch how much people engage with each other. Very little. Go to a food open market, a street market, a car park market, and see when the cars are gone, which is always lovely, and see how people engage with each other. It's completely opposite. So they don't just come to buy, they come to talk about their community. So I'm an optimist in terms of this great movement that Helena is leading, because I think you've only got to get people to engage with it, and they get it immediately without you having to thrust it down their throats.